A Franklin County man has agreed to help prosecutors with their case against a former constable who's accused of running a prostitution ring. We'll explain why coming up.
Floodwaters caused a lot of damage in southern Kentucky on Thursday afternoon.
Looks pretty good as of right now, but watch out for a couple of rumbles of thunder later on this afternoon. I'm obviously going to break down that weekend holiday forecast coming up.
This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. New details this midday in the case against a former Franklin County constable accused in a prostitution ring.
Thomas Banta has been charged with operating the money for sex operation. He was not in court today, but his co-defendant Dre Valentine was, and he agreed to a plea deal to testify against Banta. WKYT's Mark Barber is live in Frankfort with the latest on the case, and that is our top story at noon. Mark?
Good afternoon, Bill. Dre Valentine was offered the plea deal today because he agreed to help the prosecution with their case against his former co-worker when it goes to trial. Thomas Banta's attorney says that he's surprised that he took the deal this quickly because the ink is still barely dry on the indictment. Now, Banta's attorney, he was also in court today to postpone a hearing for the former constable who is accused of running the prostitution ring. The Kentucky Center for Investigative Reporting has obtained new court documents that say Banta described his clients as legislators and police officers. According to those court records, Banta's clients were, quote, upscale married men who wanted some excitement on the side. An alleged prostitute that told state police she started working for Banta in the 8th grade says when she was 16 or 17, she was paid $500 to have sex with a man in a hotel downtown, and then she saw that same man later on TV. The alleged prostitute also told state investigators that Banta would set her up with 15 to 20 men a day. According to court documents, a man who said he was one of Banta's clients said the 67-year-old set him up with a number of different prostitutes from 2010 to 2015. Banta was a Franklin County constable for 3 of those years. His attorney tells WKYT that he's concerned about the amount of information that has already become public record.
The issue is that discovery documents like this are not should not be a matter of public record to begin with, because discovery contains information in it to which a jury should not be subject.
That the public should only have access to the trial itself. He says it is unfair to Banta that so much information about the alleged crimes has already been made public. Regardless, he says he still thinks that the 67-year-old will be acquitted of the alleged prostitution ring. Live in Frankfort, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you very much. And court papers do not name any lawmakers nor officers who were supposedly involved in the alleged prostitution ring. A missing elderly Lexington man is back home and is safe this midday. The man's wife noticed that he was not at home when she woke up this morning, so she called for help. Fire crews on the ground and in the air searched near the couple's farm on Kidville Lane, that's just off Jacks Creek Pike near the Raven Run Sanctuary. And with the help of a drone, he was later found in a wooded area along a fence line about 150 yards from the house.
It was a tool in our toolbox. It was something that if he had been out in the middle of a field, if he had collapsed in a field, it would have found him a lot quicker probably than we would have, yes.
It took about an hour's time to find the man. He has been taken to the hospital now for treatment.
A Lexington mother who was murdered is being laid to rest today. Amy Cagle was found shot to death in her backyard a week ago. The New York native had 3 children, was a Girl Scout troop leader, and a board member for the Community Action Council. Now, police say her boyfriend, William Pomeroy, admitted killing her after they got into an argument about spending money he inherited on drugs. While heavy rains from the most recent system to move through caused major issues in areas of southern Kentucky.
I'll take it. High waters swept away several cars that were parked off of Highway 167 in Wayne County. The flooding also cut off power to thousands of customers. And WKYT's Phil Pendleton is there and has a look at the damage. Phil?
Well, this is Highway 167, about 4 miles outside of Monticello, an area that floodwaters created a lot of damage for. In fact, this trailer behind me was the home of a woman, and about 3:30 yesterday, About 2 inches of rain came down. She says she was inside the trailer when water picked it up and slammed it against the tree. Took it and many cars around this area altogether, just carried them away. It was a terrifying experience for those who live around here.
She opened the door and come out, and as she come out, the water just come gushing. And the next thing I know, cars hit this trailer, knocked the trailer into the side of hers, and just shoved it all into the tree.
Floodwaters created a lot of problems in Monticello yesterday afternoon. We showed you some pictures of Main Street and other streets, the Wayne County Park, that had a lot of floodwaters as well. I'm also told that at least one sinkhole opened up because of all of this. We're continuing to follow this. We'll have a lot more later today, still gathering all the details on exactly what happened. We hope to show you much more later on, but for now in Wayne County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Now, the emergency management director told us that other than some culverts and gravel, most of the damage has been repaired.
Well, it's going to be a muggy holiday weekend here in the Bluegrass. Those temperatures climbing up into the 80s and with humid conditions as well. It means an increased chance of showers and storms, especially in the afternoon and evening. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris now in our First Alert Weather Center with an early look at the weather.
Yeah, and the early look is this. It's beautiful outside. There's no rain in the forecast right now, but I want you to look down toward Tennessee. Look toward Knoxville as you work your way up 75 in that interchange, 75 and 40. Look at those sparking up, and look at the white started to spark up in between 24, 40, and 75. Those are areas that the clouds are building, and when the clouds start to build during this time of day, what does that mean? Yeah, a little chance of rain. It's heading our direction, southern half, Jackson, London. You'll actually get the best shot at seeing a passing shower or thunderstorm than, say, Frankfort or Lexington. So the farther south you are, better likelihood of actually seeing that. So there is a small chance of rain today, and the better half is southern zones. That's where we're going to see about a 40–50% chance of rain down south, about a 20 to 30 central and northern zones, and with a chance of storms over the next several days. You want to check this out. I mean, we're talking about some loud pop there with some thunder, as we saw a very long strike of lightning, loud strike of lightning. If you've been close to lightning before, you have seen this before and heard this before.
Well, two reasons. One, it would be
That was dash cam video from McCracken County Sheriff's Department's cruiser during yesterday's storm in western Kentucky. Now, lightning damaged the house. The concussion from the strike knocked the camera head from its windshield mount, and no one was hurt, luckily. And in the U.S., the National Weather Service says 5 people have been killed by lightning so far this year. To put that in perspective, there were 27 lightning deaths just last year. And unfortunately, we're going to have our own little lightning across the region, not just today, but the weekend too, guys. I'm going to break that down in the forecast coming up.
You have to take that seriously when it comes along. Micah, thank you very much. Traffic is already starting to pick up in downtown Lexington. Graduation ceremonies will be continuing this afternoon for Fayette County schools. Here's the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government's live drive cam at High and Broadway, right in front of Rupp Arena.
Now, Lafayette grads will walk at 1 o'clock at Rupp Arena. Dunbar follows at 4 o'clock. Tate's Creek will cap off the ceremonies tonight at 7 o'clock. Bryan Station and Henry Clay graduated yesterday. If you're headed to Rupp Arena for one of the ceremonies, remember you will have to go through the new metal detectors added last month. Keep it in mind.
And congratulations again to all of the graduates, and we just know they have bright futures ahead.
You bet.
Well, President Obama has made history today, becoming the first sitting commander-in-chief to visit Hiroshima, Japan. And we'll take a look at the controversy that has generated coming up on WKYT News at noon.
Also ahead, for the first time since his wife filed for divorce, Kentucky native Johnny Depp is speaking out. Find out what he had to say about the end of his marriage next on WKYT.
Lexington, save thousands at the Aegean Hot Tub and Swim Spa Memorial Day Liquidation Expo. This weekend only at the Lexington Center. We've taken delivery of truckloads of factory overstock hot tubs that must be liquidated by Monday. Everything sold up to 60% below retail. Browse rows of hot tubs and swim spas and save thousands when you buy directly from the manufacturer. Multiple brands all under one roof competing for your business. 12 months, no interest financing available. Plus, trade in that old hot tub and receive free removal and delivery of your new spa. Friday through Monday only at the Lexington Center.
Hi, I'm Richard Weber from Springhouse Gardens. Did you know that getting your hands dirty is sometimes a good thing? Digging in the dirt has been proven to reduce stress and provide a sense of happiness and contentment. Come find your happy at Springhouse Gardens.
Welcome to Toyota Time. Tons of awesome vehicles. Great deals for everyone. Thanks. Low APR financing. Woo! Here's your balloon.
Coffee.
Shoulders. Water. I have the best team. Oh, here I come.
For 5 days only, get $500 bonus cash on RAV4 over all other incentives. Get 0% financing up to 72 months on Camry or lease Camry for $189 a month.
Here you go. And here I go.
Toyota, let's go places.
Have you ever wanted to learn how to take care of your bike? Or sharpen knives? What about how to defend yourself? Now you can. First, go to the Central Library on June 4th. Second, pick up a program to find the sessions you want to attend. Third, go to the sessions. It's that simple. There are sessions on genealogy, origami, urban chickens, and many more. For a complete list, check out lexpubliv.org/how.
Are you diabetic or pre-diabetic? Do you have high blood pressure? Do you suffer from chronic pain related to weight gain? Do you spend hundreds of dollars on obesity-related medications? If you want to be the best version of you, Ageless Medical Weight Loss can help. Ageless is a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution. Kim lost 238 pounds. Betty lost 135 pounds. They made a choice to become healthier, and so can you. Call today for a free consultation.
Did you know that most gardeners are optimists? 9 out of 10 gardeners would tell you that their watering can is half full. Why else would a gardener plant a tree that they may never get to sit under? Come improve your outlook at Springhouse Gardens.
Welcome back to WKYT News at Noon. President Obama is flying back to Washington today after a historic yet solemn visit to Hiroshima, Japan.
The president visited the site of the atomic bomb attack more than 70 years ago that led to the end of World War II. Weijia Jiang has this report from Hiroshima.
President Obama joined Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in laying a wreath at Peace Memorial Park in Hiroshima Friday. He is the first sitting U.S. president to visit the city destroyed by an American atomic bomb.
71 years ago, on a bright, cloudless morning, death fell from the sky and the world was changed.
The president paid tribute to the 140,000 lives lost and said he hoped Hiroshima would be seen as the dawn of a moral awakening.
But among those nations like my own that hold nuclear stockpiles, we must have the courage to escape the logic of fear and pursue a world without them.
7 decades later, Americans are sharply divided over the use of atomic bombs here in Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. A CBS News poll shows 43% approve of their use, while 44% do not. The president did not apologize.
We must change our mindset about war itself to prevent conflict through diplomacy and strive to end conflicts after they've begun.
After their remarks, both leaders viewed the park's eternal flame and visited with survivors of the bombing. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Hiroshima, Japan.
And Japan's prime minister said that this visit opens up a new chapter of reconciliation between the United States and Japan. Well, the 2016 presidential candidates continue stumping for votes, most of them out in delegate-rich California now. Donald Trump officially secured the number of delegates needed to clinch the GOP nomination even before that state's big primary coming up on June 7th. Trump is now weighing whether to debate Bernie Sanders one-on-one, something he talked about on a late-night show. That would exclude the likely Democratic opponent, Hillary Clinton. Well, there will be a star-studded salute to our nation's men and women in uniform in our nation's capital this weekend.
Joe Montaya and Gary Sinise will once again host the National Memorial Day concert on the lawn of the U.S. Capitol. Performers include the Beach Boys, country music singer Trace Adkins, and pop star and actress Katharine McPhee. Trent Harmon, the winner of the final season of American Idol, will sing the national anthem. The concert will be broadcast live on PBS from 8 to 9:30 Sunday night. Kentucky native Johnny Depp is breaking his silence about his impending divorce. The actor's rep released a statement saying, quote, Johnny will not respond to any of the salacious false stories, gossip, misinformation, and lies about his personal life. Depp is also asking the Los Angeles court to spare him from having to pay spousal support to Amber Heard or her legal bills. She filed for divorce Sunday. Now, that was just 2 days after his mother's death, citing irreconcilable differences. The couple met on the set of the film The Rum Diary in 2011. They tied the knot in February of last year.
I'm Michelle Chamberlain. Coming up at 12:30, Lexington's new traffic camera system is live, and you have complete access. I'll explain coming up.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on 104.5 The Cat.
At Gates Honda in Richmond, our grand opening will be low-key. No hot dogs, balloons, loud music, no gorillas. We have great deals waiting for you on over 100 new Hondas. At Gates Honda in Richmond, we sell new Hondas for less because we can.
If a denture were to be put under a microscope, we can see all the bacteria that still exists. Polident's unique microclean formula works in just 3 minutes, killing 99.99% of odor-causing bacteria for a cleaner, fresher, brighter denture every day.
I'm Hannah Hornback, and this is my family. My dad works hard to grow our popcorn. So does my twin brother Ben. We all do. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you're helping to support farm families like mine. Look for Kentucky Proud popcorn from Preferred Popcorn and other Kentucky Proud products available every day at Kroger.
Bring home Kentucky Proud Preferred Popcorn. It's on sale now, 2 for just $3. And Field or Fisher's hot dogs are 10 for $10 at Kroger.
This is the Mom Biz, and ladies, it's showtime. You've got soccer practice, swim meets, drum lessons, play dates, and all the other stuff that keeps your family humming. But you know what matters? The healthy stuff, full tummies. That's why you've got Lando Frost Premium Lunch Meat, a simple, protein-packed, good-for-'em lunch. And that's how you get a mom groove. Groove with me now. Hey, Lando Frost, they're a family brand. You're a family. See what I'm getting at?
Negotiating an injury settlement with an insurance company directly without an attorney may seem like a good idea at first. After all, you get the whole pie. But studies by the insurance industry itself found that settlements are much larger when the injured person is represented by an attorney. Hi, I'm Kevin Renfro of the Becker Law Office. Most importantly, even after the attorney's fee is paid, you still get more than settling by yourself. Don't go it alone. Serious, experienced results. Call the Becker Law Office. Just dial 3.
Kevin's Carpets in Lexington and Georgetown has lower prices than the big box stores. We beat their prices every day. Bring us your estimate or call for a free in-home measurement. We will save you money. Well, you'd have to be crazy to buy flooring anywhere else.
At Gates Honda in Richmond, we want to service your Honda, regardless of where you bought it. We believe that once you've experienced our service department, you'll never go anywhere else to service or purchase your Honda. Come see us at Gates Honda on the Bypass in Richmond.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you, like WKYT on Facebook. Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
It's really good looking day, but it doesn't feel that great outside. That humidity is really ramping up as you feel the moisture stream on in here from the south. Those southerly winds will just keep pumping that on in here. It's 82 degrees already in Frankfort, our third consecutive day that we've actually felt the 80s. And the last time we did that, the last time we had 3 consecutive days of 80+ degrees was actually mid-April. So you're going back a month and a half since we've actually felt that. And it's pretty steamy. We're at 82 down in London, Corbin area, and Jackson too. Nothing going on now, but I want to show you this. This is what we look for. This is what we all look for there as we approach the afternoon hours. Everything looks good, and then look what happens. You got the Appalachians right through here, and what happens is when you get the winds coming in from the south and southeast, it runs over those mountains, the mountains lift that air, and boom, you start to see those clouds building right across 75 right here, just north of Knoxville, and also right across I-40. All those, you see those little bits and pieces, kind of look like bubbles right through there? Those are clouds building, and then unfortunately, they're going to turn into what you're seeing just south of Knoxville. Some showers and thunderstorms developing. So that all moves northbound, and that will give us a chance, at least a chance of rain later on this afternoon. Obviously, I'm not saying widespread rain chances, but smaller chances. Let's check it out. Let me take you hour by hour. Here we are at 1 p.m. Nothing going on. Look where it comes in from the south, and there you go. It's bits and pieces. There's 4 p.m. Still not much happening. Going off toward the evening hours, you got the Glow Run 5K going on at Kentucky Horse Park. There is a small chance of rain during that time, so keep that in mind as you're heading out and about on any of your plans and traveling. Travel-wise, I don't see much going on in terms that will affect you all that much. Maybe a heavy downpour on some of those interstates, so just watch out for that. Saturday, a little better chance of rain, about 40% of hit-and-miss storms. Remember, more dry time this weekend than wet time, so yeah, keep to your plans, keep to your events. Should be good to go. Just might have to dodge a storm here or there.
Well, keep watching. Of course, you can do that with our radar and so forth.
Weather app, absolutely.
Good deal.
Thank you.
All right, and keep it here on WKYT. We're back in a moment. One former cat crashes in the NFL. That is, cashes in the NFL.
Cashes in, yes.
Right.
Well, another former cat just misses on a big deal. Dave Baker's next with sports.
And we'll check the stocks as we head into afternoon trading, and it's a pretty busy day, and all the major market indicators pointing upward.
Silver Bell's killer committed 6 murders. His calling card, a single Silver Bell.
This can't be what it looks like. If we don't control this story, it will ruin all of us.
It does feel like the killer could be someone close to us.
You're a grenade.
Well, then maybe you should handle me carefully.
Raise your hand if you haven't been to the dentist in over a year. I'm coming to you.
Aspen Dental wants to make it as easy as possible to get to the dentist. They have something that will make the exam cheaper than that drink in your hand. Bam. Why don't you get on a group text to make sure that you all go? What day did you say?
Thursday anytime.
You're in Thursday at any time.
That was pretty easy. No insurance? Get a free new patient exam and x-rays.
My work is done here.
Dentistry's never been easier. Call 1-800-ASPEN Dental.
What the hail? You heard that right. Recent storms caused slight damage, and you benefit at the Frankfurt Toyota What the Hail sale.
What the hail?
Frankfurt Toyota has new Toyotas and top quality used vehicles just slightly damaged. And the damage to the vehicles is so small and the savings are so big you don't want to miss Frankfurt Toyota's What the Hail sale. When they're gone, they're gone. Hurry in for the best selection. Frankfurt Toyota's What the Hail sale.
I drive a golf ball.
I drive to the hoop.
I drive a race car.
I have a driver. His name is Carl. But that's not what we all have in common.
We talk to our doctors about treatment with Xarelto.
Xarelto is proven to treat and help reduce the risk of DVT and PE blood clots.
Xarelto is also proven to reduce the risk of stroke in people with AFib, not caused by a heart valve problem.
For people with AFib currently well managed on warfarin, there is limited information on how Xarelto and warfarin compare in reducing the risk of stroke.
You know, taking warfarin, I had to deal with that blood testing routine.
I couldn't have a healthy salad whenever I wanted.
I found another way.
Yeah, treatment with Xarelto.
Hey, safety first.
Like all blood thinners, don't stop taking Xarelto without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of a blood clot or stroke. While taking, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer for bleeding to stop. Xarelto may increase your risk of bleeding if you take certain medicines. Xarelto can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Get help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling. If you have had spinal anesthesia while on Xarelto, watch for back pain or any nerve or muscle-related signs or symptoms. Do not take Xarelto if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. Tell your doctor before all planned medical or dental procedures. Before starting Xarelto, tell your doctor about any kidney, liver, or bleeding problems.
Xarelto is the #1 prescribed blood thinner in its class.
Well, that calls for a round of Kevin Nealon's.
Make mine an Arnold Palmer.
Same here.
With Xarelto, there is no regular blood monitoring and no known dietary restrictions.
Treatment with Xarelto was the right move for us. Ask your doctor about Xarelto.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on 104.5 The Cat.
For decades, UK fans have had a love affair with the men and women who wear the blue and white and vice versa. And that's because when they leave Lexington, playing the game they love in many ways becomes a cold and calculated business. Danny Trevathan won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos. Now he's got a monster contract with the Chicago Bears worth $24.5 million, and almost half of that is guaranteed.
It's been a blessing. You know, it's not easy, but, you know, the team made it easy, and Chicago made it easy for me. So at the same time, you know, I'm looking forward to the challenge ahead. You know, I always like a good challenge, and I always like for people to think that I can't do something or something's going to be too hard for me, and that's when I rise.
They're pretty hungry up there to win. Can you feel that?
I'm hungry with them. You know, I just came off a Super Bowl win. I know what it takes. You know, I had some great guys around me, but, you know, it's all about, you know, spreading that attitude and having that family atmosphere and going out there and work together for one goal.
All right, to the NBA we go now. Before the start of the season, Anthony Davis signed a $145 million contract extension that kicks in next year. Now, it becomes a max deal if 3 criteria are met. Voted to start in the All-Star game twice, which he failed to do this season. Named the league's MVP, which he didn't win. So yesterday, guess what? He needed to be named an All-NBA teamer or lose part of that new contract. Davis wasn't named to any of the All-League teams, so he'll lose $24 million. Don't worry, though. He's still making more than $120 million. And not surprisingly, there was lots of immediate interest in Marcus Lee when he announced he was transferring from Kentucky. According to Rivals in Basketball Times writer Jeff Rabjohns, Lee was contacted immediately by 5 schools: Georgia Tech, Baylor, Kansas, Gonzaga, and Iowa State. But this morning, ESPN's Jeff Goodman tweeted, sounding like California is the early front-runner for Marcus Lee, sources told ESPN. The Bears were heavily in the mix when he chose UK, and that would fit in with Lee's stated desire to get back closer to home, as Berkeley is just 36 miles from Lee's hometown of Antioch. He will have a season to sit out and 1 year of eligibility remaining. And the Golden State Warriors trying to stay alive tonight in the NBA's Western Conference Final. Steph Curry. Oh, is that a move on Kevin Durant? Puts it high off the glass. Warriors by 2. Russell Westbrook puts Oklahoma City in front for the first time in a game, getting the screen off the three-pointer. But Golden State led by 4 going into the 4th. And Harrison Barnes. Folks, this is a monster 3 at this point in the game. Warriors go up by 12. Curry poured in 31. Golden State takes Game 5, 120-111. Game 6 tomorrow night in OKC. Tonight on the Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel, former Wildcat Perry Stevenson. And we'll hear from 2 UK basketball assistants serving their second tour of duty under Matthew Mitchell. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. Guys, that's a look at sports on this Friday. Have a great holiday weekend.
You as well, Dave. Thank you very much. And there's a lot more coming up in the next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
Gas prices are on the rise as travelers hit the roads for the holiday weekend.
Coming up, extra police will be working the Horsey 100 this weekend to help create the safest ride possible for cyclists.
And tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $218 million. And tomorrow night's Powerball jackpot is $90 million.